Hi there, my name is Jo and this is the Made by Jo Crafty Podcast. I am a knitter, sewer and crocheter based in Fife in Scotland, and this is my small place on the internet to share the things I've been working on, and June has been a busy month. I mentioned in my last episode that I was going to be slammed in June and that it was likely I wouldn't get a video out, and here we are, the first weekend in July before I've been able to film. I had something on every weekend day bar one in June, which meant that I was just super busy, and actually when I gathered all the stuff together to talk about in this podcast, I was shocked about the amount of stuff that I had here, but I think a lot of them were almost finished in the last episode, so please don't think that I got all of this done during a really busy month. Some of these things I had to get done, which is one of the reasons why June was so busy, but we will get on to them now. I do have 8 finished objects, like a halfway split between knitting and sewing. I only have 2 whips to go through and then a handful of acquisitions to show you as well. So I think we'll start with the knitting and then we'll move into my sewing finished objects before going into my whips too. So we'll start with what I am wearing. This is my shoreline tee and I used a Drops or Garn Studio pattern to make this t-shirt, and I adapted it to make it fit the way I wanted it to. I used another Ravelry user's notes to sort of work out how I wanted to do this, and then I chose all my different colours to make it rainbow themed. So all of the notes on how I made this are in a previous episode and also on my Ravelry. If you want to have a look, it's Jo Foster 218 and you can see how I made this t-shirt. I made it in Paintbox Yarns Cotton DK, which you'll see a little bit later on in the video anyway, but now it's a little bit more summery. I have been wearing it or trying to wear it more regularly. I made this last year, I think, and I really love it. I was obsessed with the wavy pattern. I tested the Tolsta tee for Rebecca Clow and I tried to implement this pattern into that t-shirt, but I couldn't quite work out the maths to do it during the test. So this was sort of my alternative option, was to use a pattern that had this anyway and just adapt it, and it was a free pattern on the Drops website, so I'm glad I gave it a go. And then we'll just go on to finished objects. Sorry, I've got my notes next to me. It has been so long since I've seen some of these things, or since I've like casted them off, that I needed notes to remember exactly what was going on. So the first one I'll show you was a test knit. Also for Rebecca Clow, it's actually inside out because I've worn it. But I was a test knitter for the Tolsta Tank, which was the tank version of her t-shirt pattern from last year. And I knit the camisole version. So this is the camisole. It comes in a square neck and also a vest neck as well. And I knit mine in woolly knit 100% cotton in 2 different colours. And I can't remember either of them. Do I have it nearby? I do. The darker blue was denim, and I'm pretty sure the lighter blue didn't have a colour name on it because I got it in a swap, so apologies for not knowing. But woolly knit cotton is what I knit this in, and I really like it. Originally I was going to do an I-cord edge on the neckline and the arms, but after casting off I decided that just a really neat cast off worked really well as well. So I decided not to bother putting the I-cord on, and I also just left, you can see some of my ends. I've worn this with the ends still not cut. They are all woven in, but they're just not cut very well. I did decide to leave the ends rolling up. Again, I didn't bother with an I-cord, I just cast off normally, and it does roll up at the bottom. So I am considering going back to do something about that, whether that's weaving some elastic through the bottom or adding some sort of finishing to it. But I actually really like the way it looks. I haven't had too much opportunity to wear it recently because the weather in Scotland's been abysmal. I've just had a week off for my birthday and it's rained almost every single day. So we haven't had much opportunity to wear this, but I'm hoping as it maybe gets warmer, we'll be able to wear this a bit more. But that is my Tolsta Tank by the Crea Bea or Rebecca Clow. It is available on Ravelry and I think Etsy as well if you're looking for the pattern, and you just pay for the one pattern and you get the camisole neck, the square neck and the tank top in a variety of different sizes. Also, just for information, I added bust shaping into mine. I wouldn't even know what cup size I am bra wise, but my difference between my upper bust measurement and my full bust measurement is more than 2 inches, so that means that bust shaping would probably help me. So I added some bust shaping into this vest and it fits really well. I'll insert a video of me wearing it, but I really like the way it fits. So it does come with bust shaping and how to do that for a variety of different sizes as well. So it's a really good pattern if you've never knit a vest before. The pattern is also bottom up, so you get pretty much to the bust shaping before you have to decide which of the 3 necklines you would like to do. So if you still don't know, you can cast on and then see where it takes you after that. But I really like mine. I think it looks really good. You can actually see the bust shaping there if I hold it up. The little bit of bust shaping in the middle. And it just looks really clean and it fits really well. So first finished object, and I do really love it. I can't wait to wear it more as the weather allows. The rest of my knitting finished objects are socks, and there are 3 of them. So I will start with my May socks. So for anyone who is new, hi, but also I am trying to knit a pair of socks every month this year, and these are my May variety. Show you this side. I can't actually remember where I was, but it was in the whips last episode, so apologies if it was almost done. I just hadn't woven in the ends or something. But this is actually knit in hand-dyed yarn that I dyed myself. So I dyed this little pink mini. I dyed this main self-striping colour, which I really like. This is the only colour oh no, I didn't dye either of these colours. This is Filicalana Arvetta. And this yellow here came from Nicole C. Mendez as part of her Easter set, which I used for my April socks. So this was my May pair, and I finished these off in May. I did manage to get them done, which I'm very pleased with. I've worn them a couple of times since, which is why they're a bit bobbly. But I've worn them a couple of times since, but again, while the weather's been cooler, it's been great. But in the summer, I don't really expect to wear my woolly socks too much. Although I do love wearing mine with my Birkenstocks and showing them off, so maybe I'll eat my words and wear them a lot more than I think I will. But that is my May pair, and they're all finished up. For that pattern, I just did vanilla socks. I didn't use a sock pattern, just making sure I cover everything. I covered the yarn. The sock pattern is just a vanilla sock. I did 20 rounds for the cuff. I then do a 60 round leg, and then I just knit do the heel and knit until it reaches the bottom of my pinky toenail. And that's how I know when to cast on my toe. I did 64 stitches, and I usually do 64 stitches unless I'm doing a pattern that tells me to do otherwise. So that is my vanilla May socks. The other socks that I had that were not quite finished yet in the last episode were my Larch Peds. And these are a pair of shorty socks. So they're the Larch Peds by Laura Nelkin, and I knit these alongside my mum. I think my mum's knit 3 pairs, and this is the only pair I've knit. She's an absolute wizard when it comes to these, and she's been wearing these non-stop, even in the warm weather, so I think I might need to make another pair. But I knit these to match a pair of socks that I knit for Angus last year. I cast on the West, was it last year or the year before? I think it might have been the year before. I did the West Knits sock mystery knit along, and I knit them for my partner Angus, and I wanted to do a pair of socks that were similar. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. There we go. I wanted to knit a pair of socks that were similar for myself but not matchy-matchy, so I used the same colours. I also had these left over and I wanted to try and use up my leftovers. So this main colour is by Sheep on Mars, I want to say. I'm like 89% sure it's called Sheep on Mars, and they're on Etsy. I found them on Etsy, and I don't know the colour name for this, apologies. But I really like it. It's this like really nice blue with rainbowy flecks through it, but like muted darker rainbowy flecks, which is nice. I've got dog hair all over these, so apologies. And the toe was Felt Fusion in the colour Bellatrix, I believe. And you use that on the toe and then also on the inside of the padded cuff. The reason I wanted to give these a go is because they have a little double like padded cuff section that you shape with German short rows, which I thought would be really good for your heel, because my mum has knit me a pair of shorty socks before I even knit, and I never really wore them because I didn't find they provided very much support at the ankle. So that's why I wanted to give these a go. And like I say, my mum has worn hers so much and I've worn mine a fair amount, but not too much in the last sort of month or so. But not because I don't like them, mainly because I've been wearing regular socks rather than knitted socks, because other than this last week when it's been raining, it has been quite warm. So long story short, these are my larch peds. They are finished. I do have a matching pair. I'm just only showing you one instead of putting them both on sock walkers, and I really like them. I think they look really cute. I do think I need to cast on another pair of these, but these were actually just one I cast on with my mum. They weren't for a particular month. I just cast them on to knit something alongside my mum. So these were my larch peds. And then my final knitted finished object is my June socks. Now these almost didn't get finished. I'm pretty sure I cast them on the first week in June, and I cast these off on the last day in June, the 30th of June, the morning of the 30th of June. And I was going to a wedding for the rest of the day, my uncle's wedding, so I was away for the whole day, and I literally cast these off standing fully ready, hair, makeup done, dress on, in my heels, and Angus was going, Jo, you don't need to do this now, and I was like, I do, because we're not going to get back till after midnight, which is after June, and I was Kitchener stitching the toes together. So I did get them done in June, and I'm really pleased with myself that I did. And I was entirely inspired by another YouTuber, Summer Lee Knits. I think she's Summer Lee Designs, Summer Lee Knit Designs, something like that. Her pattern like company name. But she's Summer Lee Knits on YouTube, and she does a podcast all about basically sock knitting and sort of random crafts that she does. She's also just released a book recently, which I haven't purchased yet, but I am thinking about it. But anyway, long story short, I was watching her videos at the end of May, beginning of June, and she was knitting a pair of her Mermaid Avenue socks. And she did a week-long video of her knitting these socks and talking about the different yarn choices and everything else. And it was like a vlog, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I loved the sock pattern. And at the end, she did a discount on the actual sock pattern itself, and I obviously bought it. And she was talking about how it makes her feel summery, and she knits them to go to the beach, and all of that was exactly how I was feeling at the beginning of June. It was warm, I was looking forward to the summer. So I decided to cast on a pair as well. And that is my, oh, I've just noticed a mistake in it, have I? Oh no, I haven't, that's the beginning of round. Did you see the panic set in my eyes? Anyway, these are her, I'll show you one, get the hair off it. These are her Mermaid Avenue socks, and they just look like little mermaid tails, and they're so cute. And I just, as soon as I saw them, I had to knit them up. And I really, really love them. They're bright, they're summery, they're very different for me. I tend to like a long cuff, but these had a shorter cuff, so I just went with the pattern. I did do a shorter leg than I usually do, and then just a heel flap and gusset and a normal toe. But I really, really like the way these look. Now, what yarn did I use for these? Bum, bum, bum. Okay, I can see the skein that came with this one. This is Cheshire yarn hand dyed, which I bought on Etsy, and I bought this skein of yarn years ago. Like, I want to say 2 or maybe 3 years ago. It was definitely during lockdown, the first lockdown, so maybe even 4 years ago now. And it was sort of one of my first dips into hand dyed yarn. And this colourway is called Paradise Island, and I saw it, and the other one I bought at the same time is up on my yarn wall, and I can see it over there. And I just really loved the colour. It's a baby blue with neon speckles. There's some bright yellow, I don't know if you can see any on that side though. There's some bright yellow speckles in there as well. And I just absolutely loved it when I bought it years ago. And I was on FaceTime to my mum trying to decide what colourway to do these in, and we decided on this because it had been in my stash such a long time, and I'm really glad that we did because I think it looks really good. And it is very summery, it's very beachy, I like it a lot. So that was the main colour that I used. The heel and toe contrast I got from my mum. She had some minis that she has bought, and I believe she's bought them from Beehive Yarns. I think Beehive Yarns does a sort of mystery pack that you can buy, and it's just a random selection of skeins and of mini skeins. And my mum has bought a couple to do contrast heels and toes, and she had these two, and she said I could borrow them because they just went so perfectly. So there's this gorgeous bright purple colour, and then this really bright raspberry pink colour as well. So I decided to switch it up and do two contrasts in different colours, and I just think they look really, really cute. The Mermaid Avenue sock pattern was really easy to memorise. It took me maybe 2 or 3 repeats, and then it was absolutely fine. I knew what I was doing and I didn't have to have the pattern. You might be able to see that the bottom of the foot like wrinkles up a bit, and that's because this does shorten your row gauge. She does have a fix for that in the pattern if you want to make it look nicer off the foot. On the foot, it doesn't impact the size or the fit at all for me, so I didn't bother. And if I'm being completely honest, it's because I just rattled on with the pattern, did the toe, and then it wasn't until I was rechecking the heel on this foot that I realised the next page had instructions for if you wanted to get rid of this. So I'd already done one sock and I wasn't going to go back and fix it. So that's why mine have the little bobbly bit. But if you wanted it to look particularly good on sock blockers, there is a fix for this that she gives you in the pattern. But I think Summerlee's patterns are really, really great. They're really well explained. I have a great time following them. I've followed 2. I want to say 2 so far, and I do have quite a few of her other patterns in my Ravelry library that I'm going to give a go. So I really like them. I would recommend them. I have also been watching reviews of her book, and if you're a beginner sock knitter, I think her book would be incredibly helpful. It's got a lot about sizing and different types of heels and quite a few bits about basic socks, and then it's got sock patterns at the end that sort of increase in difficulty. The only thing that's stopping me buying the book is that I have a couple of knitting books over there that I rarely dip into, if I'm honest, and I think a lot of the basic stuff that I know from just knitting a bunch of socks is what comes in the beginning of the book, and actually I think I've got enough sock patterns in my Ravelry library that I don't need to add another, I think it's 28 or 25. I don't need to add another 25 to that. So right now I'm not going to purchase it, but I would recommend it if you're a beginner sock knitter, and I might purchase it in the future if I see it in store. So that is my last knitting finished object, my June socks, and I really, really like them. Long story short, for everything I have said so far, I really, really liked it. Let me just take these off the sock blocker. Okay. I feel like I've just rattled through those, but 3 of them are socks, and there's not really that much you can say about socks, can you? Okay, we're going to move on to sewing finished objects, and you've seen one of these, but not the other ones. In June, the 8th of June, I went to see Taylor Swift in Edinburgh in concert, and I had known about this for an entire year, and I had known that I wanted to sew my dress for an entire year. I purchased the fabric about 6 months ago, and instead of, at the time thinking, right, make the dress now so you're not stressing, it was a week before, the Saturday before, and I had not yet started my dress. So I had a week to finish it, and I did. But this is a public service announcement that if you've got plenty of time to do it early, so you're not stressing yourself out the week off. So this, I am going to have to include some pictures. If I don't include a video, I'll include pictures of me wearing it on the day. But this is my Taylor Swift inspired dress. It is a 3-tiered gathered t-shirt dress, and I actually wore it with the t-shirt bit at the front, although it does have a v-neck at the back. I put little mid-length sleeves on it because I was worried it was going to be cold, and it was cold. And I also double lined each layer so that it wasn't see-through, because I really didn't want anyone to be staring at my underwear through my dress. I purchased this fabric from Rainbow Fabrics, I want to say, and I have no idea what it is, but it's super stretchy and it's got these rainbow metallic stars on it. And I decided that was perfect for Taylor Swift because it represented a whole bunch of her eras. I am a Fearless or Speak Now. I don't want to say stan because that's like an old person. Well, no, that's horrible. I don't use that word, so why would I use it now? I'm a Fearless and Speak Now person. That I grew up with those. I was a teen going through all my teen emotions with those albums, and I am obsessed with them. So I was going to do sort of a strapless fringe dress, but I just thought I would never wear that again. And I really want to, when I'm thinking about my sewing, sew things that I will wear again and again and again. And this is just a tiered t-shirt dress. And yeah, it's in a cool fabric, but actually, like, it's really comfortable and I could wear it whenever I wanted to. Dress it down with some trainers and it wouldn't be a problem at all. I also am thinking, like, I'm not engaged. I don't know which hand it would be. I'm not engaged. But whenever I do become engaged, I think it would be a cool hen dress or dress to wear when you're going wedding dress shopping, because it's really like loose and comfortable. So anyway, long story short, I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. I think it's really cute. It was a pain in the bum to sew, if I'm honest, because the stretchy fabric meant that this neckband, nightmare to do, and also I didn't use a pattern. I self-drafted, another reason why I definitely should not have waited till the week before to do it, but you know, you live and you learn, and I did it and I wore it and it was fabulous, and I really loved it. So big fan of this. It has, however, sat, I don't know if you can see this stuff that I'm piling up here, but it has sat here ever since I wore it that day, just because I'm a bit like, I want to wear it to something, I just don't know what. We had a lot of stuff going on in June, but nothing that I would really wear that to, so it needs to go in my wardrobe, basically, is what I'm saying. But for now, it sits on the side of my craft room and I see it every time I come in and I just think, oh, Taylor Swift, that was fun. What's next? Let's do this one next. So this is another one that you've not seen, and this one is a bit of a sporadic sew. Something's coming up in life stuff at the end that I'll tell you. But one of the things that my partner and I do regularly is go camping or go away in my parents' camper van. And when we're away, we tend to wear big hoodies and things like that. And I have been obsessed with the idea of making a Patagonia or a Columbia style fleece. So one of the like 3/4 zip fleeces or buttoned fleeces that I can wear when we're away camping and just give that like relaxed cool girl vibe, which I know is so like lame to say, but anyway, I really like that, and it's super comfy and cozy, but I still feel cool and put together. So I actually had this down here. I purchased a pattern last year, which I thought I could pattern hack to make this 3/4 fleece. This is the New Look N6713, and I thought I could pattern hack this to work it out. But this doesn't come with a lining, and I just decided that it was going to be too difficult. So you can see I did make an effort to start this and then gave up. So I will use that for something else, but not for this. So I went online and I found a pattern to buy instead of trying to self-draft. And I can see it over there and I can't remember the name of it. It is, I'm just going to pick up a random piece of it. It is the Isa in Stitches Let It Snow Men's Fleece Sweater is what it's called, and I purchased it on Etsy. It comes with a YouTube video that shows you exactly how to make it. It comes with the pattern to print out. I couldn't personally find written instructions, so you do have to watch the video, which I found a little bit annoying, only because like I tend to watch things on the iPad when I'm sewing, so then to have to like flick off of what I'm watching to go and check the video and see what I need to do next was a little bit annoying, but actually it was helpful to see someone actually making it, so you know, 6 1/2 each to their own, I guess. But anyway, long story short, decided I was going to do this. And then actually, as I had started my first version of these, I was told that it was on the Sewing Bee. So the Sewing Bee have done something really similar. So if you have been watching the Great British Sewing Bee, they have made quarter button-up fleeces as part of one of their weeks. So that is basically what I have done. So I went online and I found a company that was going to provide me with the fabric that was a really weird way of saying that. I found a company that was selling it at a good price, basically, on sale, and I went a bit crazy and I bought a bit much fabric. I bought 6 colours, I think, at a metre each, or 1.5 meters each, which is excessive because I have realised now that because I bought 2 colours to like pair together, so the intention was to make 3 fleeces, but it turns out for the amount I bought I can make 2 fleeces in each colourway, so actually I can make 6 fleeces, which is a bit much. But anyway, long story short, I then wanted to make one for my friend Ben, who I work with. Ben is a great friend and I wanted to make him something to just say thank you so much, so I decided to make him a fleece. Now this fleece that I have here is not Ben's fleece because Ben has his fleece. However, it is an almost exact replica of Ben's fleece. So this is what it looks like. So the one I made originally, the dark blue was the top and the light blue was the bottom, and that, if I'm with the amount of fabric I've got, if I flip them to make the second one, I'll get 2 fleeces out of each colour. So I purchased these polar fleeces from a company called MadebyJo Crafty, I think. If that's not right, I'll put it up on the screen. And I purchased this soft shell fabric from a different company, but again, I can't remember what it was called. But I just used some soft shell remnant that they had. I then had a button, these are like poppers, and I had a popper kit from sewing a long time ago that I was able to use for this. So this is my fleece. Now this version originally I was going to gift to someone as well, but since making it I'm obsessed with it, and also things like this stitching here isn't quite right, and there's a couple of jumped stitches that I'm happy with but I wouldn't be happy to gift it to someone. So there is some imperfections in here. Just mind your business. I'm really happy with this fleece, but I'll show you a couple of the features just when I show you up close. Just ignore the bits that you can see that are imperfect. So it comes with a collar with a folded over bias binding that I made myself in this case. It comes with a chest pocket, a zipper chest pocket, and it also shows you how to do proper set-in pockets in the body as well. So I'm going to chuck it on because I love it, and just to display it. So I actually made a much larger size than I would typically make for myself. So the sleeves are really long and it's really oversized because my partner and I often will share hoodies essentially, and I wanted this to fit him as well. So that's why this one's large. I did make some adjustments. I reduced the length of the body so that it would fit me a bit better, and I think that's all I did to make it fit both of us. But this is what we've been left with, and I just think it's so cute. I really do think it's like reminiscent of a Patagonia or Columbia style fleece. I'm really grateful to the pattern. I think I would have struggled to make this pattern hacking, so I'm glad that I just purchased the pattern. It wasn't too expensive. And I have already made 2 of these, and I will be making 4 more, I think, with all the fabric that I've got. So this is my Patagonia style fleece. It is my most recent finished sewing project. I finished it yesterday, and I will include a little clip of me standing in it so you can kind of see the size of it as well. But it's super cute, super cozy, and I can't wait to wear it when we go away camping. I think it's just going to be so cool, and I'm really pleased, because I think it looks really professional, other than this one seam, which I'm not ripping out because I really can't be bothered, but other than that one seam, I'm really pleased with how it looks, and I can't wait to make some more. So that was my second, and technically third sewing, because I've made 2 of these. I only have 1 with me though. And I'm going to show you my last sewing finished object now. And this was a whip in the previous episode. So this is the Rossi wrap by The Bold One. and I sewed this dress in order to wear it to my uncle's wedding, which was the last weekend in June. So I have not folded it up nicely, and again I will include pictures of me wearing this at the actual day, and I think I've got a video that I sent to my friend that I'll just take the sound out and put that in as well, so excuse the fact I'm talking, but I'll show you the dress. And this is what she looks like. So I went for the boat neck design. I thought it was a bit classy, and it is a tie front, so you make two really long ties that you wrap around yourself and tie together, which I think looks really sweet. It has princess seams, which I had never done before, and it's also got an internal facing as well, which makes it look a bit more professional. And I made mine super long. It's like mid-calf, I would say, for me, and I wore it with heels to the wedding. This fabric came from the Jo Crafty House, which is a London-based dead stock shop, and I purchased this at the same time as I purchased some crinkle crepe fabric. And when this arrived, it actually was a lot more structured and heavy than I thought it was going to be. So I didn't really know what to sew with it. So if I'm really honest, I started sewing this dress and I just thought to myself, I'll make it. If it looks good in this fabric, fabulous. If not, I'll use it as sort of my tester and I'll pick a fabric to make the wedding guest dress in. But this just worked so well. The structure makes it like drop really nicely, and I made sure to do everything I could to cut it at the right. I'm not very good at making sure that my grain line is correct, so I made really sure to get the grain line right, and I just think it looked beautiful. I got so many compliments on it at the wedding. Most of the people there are family or family friends, so they know I sew, so a lot of them are like, can't believe you've made that, you look amazing. And I was really, really pleased and comfortable with how I looked on the day. And I just ran around looking after my nephews, just celebrating, and wasn't conscious or pulling at my dress or anything, which I have had to do previously at big events. So I'm really pleased with how this came to be. This was also entirely inspired by a version that the Bold One's mum sewed, and she sewed hers in linen, and it's really, really beautiful. So I entirely just selected all of the different modifications she had made, which come in the pattern, and replicated her version, even to the point that she did it in a pink colour. The other reason I really like this dress is that I think I could wear it a bit more casual. I could wear it with trainers, I could put a white t-shirt under it, and I could get away with wearing it to work. I could probably get away with it for like summer barbecues and things, because again, I didn't want to be sewing things that I would only wear for this wedding and never wear again. So I'm really pleased with how it turned out, and I do definitely think I'll get a lot of wear out of this. Like I said, I was really comfortable in it, and that's a huge thing for me. If it's not comfortable, I just won't wear it again, but I really enjoyed wearing this, and I was really proud that I had made something like this. So this will be getting a lot more wear, and I am really, really pleased with how it went. I think I'm going to leave my fleece on because it's cozy. And that is all of my finished objects. Like I said, a lot of these things I had started, so most of my knitting projects were at the end of what needed done. I can't really remember where my toaster vest was, but I know I'd knit the majority of the body, I think, and so I only had the cups to do, and I think it took me 2 evenings to do all 4 cups in the straps. So that was finished at the very beginning of June. My May socks were obviously finished in May, my shorties were finished in the first week in June. So really, for the majority of June, I had my Taylor Swift dress, my wedding guest dress, and my June socks, and that was kind of all I had on the go, and then these fleeces. And I made this fleece, cut it out, I was on holiday this week, cut it out and made it over sort of one evening it took to cut and make the top half, and the second evening to make the rest. So it really didn't take me that long. I'm basically justifying this because I've been going on and on about how busy June was, and then I'm coming to you the first week in July with an episode with 8 finished objects, and all I'm basically saying is I finished a lot of those at the very beginning of June, and actually I've had very little time throughout June to do any crafting. If I have crafted, it's been on my sewing machine, and that's why I was finishing the June socks literally the last day in June, because I just haven't had any time to knit. So that's my PSA over and my justification over. I'm just going to roll on through now with the other things that I have been working on. On the same vein though, I only have 2 whips, so almost everything I've finished, I've not picked up a new project to work on because I've been so busy. So I have 2 whips that I'm going to show you, and the first is one that I was also doing a video where I was going, like I'm filming the process of making this item. So there will also be that coming out hopefully in the future. I have also filmed a very similar sort of come with me to make my Taylor Swift dress type situation, but I never filmed an ending to that. I never filmed me going to Taylor Swift or wearing the dress, so that may or may not appear on the channel. I haven't decided, but I think this next one will. So I am knitting another Tolsta tee. I have been wearing my Tolsta tee fingering weight version I finished this year, and my Tolsta tee DK weight version I finished last year. I've been wearing them a lot and I really, really love them. So I decided to knit one alongside my mum, because my mum also wanted to knit one, but it's nice for us to do them together so I can give her some pattern support, and it's just nice to do it alongside someone else. So my mum has finished hers. It's sitting on the floor here because she needs me to block it. So I will show you where mine is, and then I will show you what mine is going to look like, because we have made identical t-shirts. But I will be doing a video, one video for this whole process. So let me just pick it up. I laid everything on the floor thinking it'd be easier, but now I'm just lunging forward every so often, so I apologise. I am knitting the Tolsta tee in a size 3. The only modification I have made so far is that I cast on with the numbers for size 2, and then I increase for the numbers to size 3 after I've done the collar, because I like the way that that brings the collar in a little bit. My only thing that I don't love so much about my Tolsta tee from last year is it has a really wide neckline, so I've adjusted that for this new version. And let me find the front. This is what we are looking like so far. So my mum and I were inspired by my Shoreline tee to use the leftovers that I had to make Tolsta tees with a bit of a rainbow in them. I'm going to sneeze, please bear with me. Bless me. Bless me. My goodness. We were inspired by my Shoreline tee to use the leftovers to make rainbow Tolstas, and we were also inspired by a design by Hive Knits, and I can't remember what the pattern is called. Did I show you this last time? No, I didn't. Just panicking, I showed you this before. I can't remember what the pattern is called, but it's by Hive Knits, and we wanted to replicate that but in a t-shirt. So in the Hive Knits pattern, she has sort of pearl-ish ridges with colours interspersed in them, and that's what we want to replicate here. So we went for a plain one colour yoke, and then after we've joined in the round, we've done some pearl ridges and are changing colour to go through our rainbow of colours that we've got. So this is where I am just now. I've just split for the sleeves and I've done 2 and a bit colours. I am going to do 7 colours, I think, in total. My mum has done 9 colours because she prefers her t-shirts to be a bit longer. So there will be slight difference, but for the vast majority of the t-shirt, we're going to have the same. So this is a Tolsta tee in size 3, and this is what I have been working on. Again, mostly at the beginning of June. It's currently just sitting in a mesh bag. I'm knitting it on Chogu size 5mm needles, and I have a little dinosaur stitch marker, which is so cute, that I got at the Scottish Yarn Festival last year, and I think it's adorable. So I'm really pleased to be using that. So the yarn I'm using, the white yarn that I'm using, is Woolly Knit Cotton DK. I had a cone of this that I got in a yarn swap, actually from Rebecca of the Creabea. It's the colour Optic White, and I got a cone of this from her. So this is what I'm working from. I think I also have a small ball of it. Yeah, I do. Because I am holding it double to get the DK weight. So that is my main colour. And then I did say I would be throwing it back to these ones. The colours that I am using, the actual rainbow colours, are Paintbox Yarns Cotton DK. And in the individual video that I'm doing, I have listed all of the colours and the colour names, so I'm not going to bother doing that now. But every single one that I'm using is this yarn in a variety of different colours. And that is my version of the Toaster Tea. So I will show you what it is going to look like, because my mother, my delightful mother, has finished hers, and this is what it looks like. Excuse the creasing, it has been folded in my house for about a week while she waited for me to block it. My mum went for the cream version. Because my tulle stuff from last year is cream, I decided to go for white to give it something different, but my mum used my leftovers in the cream to do this. And then, like I said, these are all the Paintbox Yarns Cotton DK colours. So I'm going to do every colour on here, I believe, except this beige, I think, and except this dark blue. So mine won't have the dark blue and it won't have the beige, but that'll be what we are going with, because mine is going to be slightly shorter than my mum's. But I just think it looks really, really cute. Beautifully summery, but not crazy in your face, I don't think. So my mum and I are going to have matching t-shirts, which is going to be adorable. So this is hers, completely finished, and I just need to block it. But I'm kind of waiting to block mine at the same time, although it might be a while, so should really get on that and block that for her. But that is my first whip. And my second whip, it actually pairs with an acquisition. As I've mentioned, I think it was my birthday on Monday, and one of the things that I asked my family for, very last minute actually, was a project bag by a company called A Joy to Stitch, just checking I get that right. And the lovely Annie from A Joy to Stitch, I actually saw her post on James Makes Yarn, or James Makes Things Instagram, and I saw it, he was sort of sharing the post on his story, and instantly I was like, I'm in love with this bag and I think it's amazing. So I followed Annie, and I got a lovely message from her just saying, I watch your podcast, I followed you on Instagram for a while and it's really nice that you follow me, thank you so much. And Annie and I have been talking on and off ever since, and I really wanted one of her bags, but as a sewist I find it quite difficult to purchase project bags when you know that you could make a project bag. Now, I make project bags for myself, so they are not perfect, they are not professionally made, they are just project bags that I can make for me. But it does mean that often I am like, oh, I could make that, so I maybe put off buying project bags for myself. But I loved this project bag so much that I asked for it for my birthday from my family, and they got it for me. So this is the beautiful project bag. It just reminds me of a pick and mix bag, and I'm obsessed with it. It's perfect for socks. I would 100% recommend Annie's bags. They are amazing. You get it in this colour or yellow, but I went for the pink, and it's just so stinking cute. And I'm so happy that I got it for my birthday. So it's got a little popper in the back, and you just pop it open, and it sits up exactly like a sweetie bag would from a shop. So you get this, and you also get, let me just move some of this stuff out of here. You also get a little cake holder, and I'm obsessed with this. I definitely think I'll be making some of these, because this has been so good for socks to make sure that the cake didn't get all gross and messed up, and it's done perfectly and it just matches and it's so cute. So I'm obsessed with Annie's bags. Again, she's a joy to stitch. I would purchase another one, even as someone who is a sewer and could probably work out how to make this. There's no way I could make it as beautiful as Annie has made it. So I would really recommend supporting a small business. Purchase her project bags. They're amazing. You will not regret it. But anyway, I got this gorgeous project bag for my birthday, so it had to house my birthday cast on, which are also my July socks. Apologies if this is a little bit choppy. I just told you my birthday, then I felt weird about telling you when my birthday was, so I've taken it out. So just apologies. Anyway, my birthday's at the beginning of July, and that means that I had the perfect time to cast on my birthday socks alongside my July socks. So my July socks are going to be my birthday cast on, and I decided to use a beautiful colorway. Do I have the ball band in here? I do. I purchased a beautiful colorway from the Yarn Badger, and this is her Rainbow Cake colorway, and I bought it in the sparkle base because you can't have a rainbow cake and not get it in sparkle. So let me see if I can show you the cake. This is what the cake looks like. It looked phenomenal in the skein as well, but this is what the cake looks like. And I, this week, have really prioritised whenever I've had half an hour sitting down and working on this. So I have just picked up for my heel though, so it's a bit chaotic in my bag. Ooh, what's happening here? This is what it looks like. Oh my god, it's so cute. I am obsessed with this colour. I love it so much. If I have any left over, I'm making a pair of shorty socks with it, you bet, because this is phenomenal. But it is a beautiful silver sparkle rainbow pastel colorway. It is just utterly gorgeous. I honestly can't get over it. It's so cute. Again, I did 64 stitches. I did a 25 round cuff because I saw on the Yarn Badger's Instagram her version of this, and it was so cute, and it had a longer cuff. So I've done 25 row cuff, a 60 row leg, and then I actually wanted to do an afterthought heel. I have never in my life done an afterthought heel, but I wanted to do one because I just didn't want the lovely stripe to be interrupted by a heel flapping gusset. So I knit this as one big tube, and I've stopped where I think I need to stop to do the toe. And then last night I used my DP ends. I've got, again, so many ends. I used my DP ends to pick up and cut to do the afterthought heel, and I've just started the afterthought heel here. So, like I say, main colour is by the Yarn Badger, and it's the colour Rainbow Cake. The contrast colour that I'm using is just this lovely beigey creamy colour, and this is Beehive Yarns. It was in her advent from last year, or 2 years ago. Last year, the patisserie advent, so I have used that as my contrast colour. What else have I got on here? This, I had to put this in. I have a gorgeous Rainbow Cake stitch marker from Jo Crafty. I'm obsessed with it, and obviously I had to use it on my birthday cast on with this amazing yarn. And I also have a beautiful stitch marker for my beginning of round, and this is by Yarn Song on Instagram. The lovely Rebecca, who was at the knit night I used to go to, she makes these, and it's just so beautiful that I had to use it as well. So this is how far I have gotten on my birthday socks. I'm just going to continue doing the heel, and then I'm going to try it on before I do the toe, just because I wasn't 100% confident I knew what I was doing with the afterthought heel. So I decided to do sort of a midway afterthought heel and then do the toe just to make sure I get it to fit right. But I'm obsessed with this. And this week last night I watched 3 episodes of Queen Charlotte after seeing a couple of reels of it on Instagram, and I think I did from like here up just last night. So this hasn't been going on for very long, but I cannot put it down. Whenever I want to pick something up, I've been picking up this instead of my t-shirt, which is why that's got so much more progress on it than the t-shirt has. But as you can probably tell, there's a bit of a theme at the moment. I mean, I've got bright colours, I've got rainbow pieces, lots of rainbow pieces. I don't know why, I think summer just inspires me to use all of my bright colours. And I've got quite a few that I can see on my wall up there that I also want to cast on. So I'm gonna work my way through my birthday socks and then see what other bright colour socks I can cast on. But that is my only 2 whips. A really short whip section because I just, like I say, was finishing stuff and didn't have the time to pick things up again. So lots of finishing, not too much casting on. I do have a couple of acquisitions to share with you, and then a little bit of life stuff before we finish. I do have some fabric acquisitions, but I'm not going to show you them just because I think it's better to show you those as I sew things up rather than just show you a big block of fabric, so excuse me for not showing you that. But I will show you a couple of acquisitions that I have got. So I got my birthday bag, and then my lovely mother purchased me a set of Chow needles, which was a huge surprise. I didn't know she was going to do this, so I'm really lucky. But she purchased me the Chow DPNs. So up until this point, I do my toes for socks on DPNs and my heels for socks on DPNs. And up until this point, I have had one set of wooden DPNs that my mum gave me whenever I started sock knitting. And they're a 2.5 needle. And I've used them for everything. Even though I've started knitting on a 2.25 for my socks, I just didn't have another option, so that's what I've been using. So now I finally have the right size DPN. So these go from a 2mm to a 3.25mm, and that means they will cover everything that I need from normal fingering weight socks right up to DK weight socks to do my toes and heels with. So I am very grateful to my mum for getting me these, and my birthday socks are the first time I'm using them, so I'm really, really happy with those. And then when I was out with my mum and my sister, it was the weekend before the wedding, so sort of mid-June, we went into a cancer research charity shop, and they had this. It was $11.49, so it wasn't too cheap, but I didn't mind because it was going to charity. And it says happiness is homemade, and I'm going to put it above my window that I'm looking at right now in my craft room. And I just couldn't say no to this. It is so cute, and it goes perfectly for the craft room. I really liked that it was a really sort of neutral colour because the rest of my craft room is really bright, so it'll just fit in really well, and I'm obsessed with it. So that is my other, it's kind of crafty acquisition, I guess. And then the only yarn acquisition I'm going to show you is from a Homespun House. So I'm getting the Homespun House Harry Potter Birthdays Club. I'm purchasing every one that comes out because I'm obsessed with Harry Potter, I'm obsessed with yarn, and I got the Homespun House weekly advent calendar last year and loved it. So I decided to treat myself to this. So far I have had Ron, Luna, Draco, Fred and George, and I think that's all I'd had so far. I had an issue, I think I told you last time, with one of my yarns not being in the package, so I've now got that one to show you, and that is Lupin. And then I have two other colourways which I've just received, which were Harry and Neville, I think. So I'm about to show you Lupin, Harry and Neville. So if you're also getting this club and you haven't for whatever reason received those three colours, then skip ahead because I'm going to show you them now. Or you can just finish up here because I'm just going to talk about live stuff. So if that applies to you, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. But if you're happy to see them, then I'll show you them now. Excuse the rustling. I'll just get them both out of their bags. They come in these little paper bags, which is great, but it makes a lot of noise. So, the first one that I will show you is Lupin. So this is the one that didn't come in the parcel originally, and they've sent it to me separately, and it is super cute. It's moody and, well, very much like Lupin, greens and purples, and then it's got a purple mini with it, and I just think I love the little speckles in, and this is just really sweet. It doesn't, when I first opened it I was like, oh, it doesn't scream Lupin, but I don't really know what would scream Lupin to me because he doesn't really have very many colours, and when I think about it, like, the film he's mainly in, which is the third film, is really dark and moody, and that's exactly what this is, dark and moody, so it definitely fits in when I actually had to think about it. So this is the Lupin. I get the 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, which is their soft sock base, and I always get the sock set. So that is Lupin. And then, rustle rustle, I got Harry and Neville. So this is Harry's sock set, and it is gorgeous. This beautiful golden yellow for the scar is the mini, and then it's got yellows, it's got greens for Harry's eyes. I really like it. It's really refreshing, really different. It's not something that I've got. When I look up at my yarn stash, I don't have anything that looks like this, like nothing even sort of close to this, and I just don't know if I've ever seen anything close to this. I love the speckle. I love that it's like a neutral background. I really like it actually. When I opened it at first I was like, oh my gosh, this is different, but it's really nice. And the reason I love the Homespun House socks sets is that they are so soft. Like, considering they're 75/25, I cannot fathom how soft these are, because when I dye yarn, or the yarn that I buy to dye, is 75/25, and it is nowhere near this soft, and I just don't know how they do it, but it's phenomenal. And I'm so happy to have all of these different colours. I've actually had to stop myself buying the weekly yarn advent this year because I'm about to have at least 12 of these, because I'm buying the monthly club, so I can't justify also getting 4 in December. So this is my version of the Homespun House advent. A Homespun House is expensive. It is an expensive purchase, but like I say, I really like it. It's super soft and I'm obsessed with Harry Potter, so this is what I'm prioritising purchasing. This is sort of the only thing I purchase regularly now, is this sock set, and I would fully recommend. And then the final one is Neville, and it is stunning. Sorry, I know that I'm just saying they're amazing, but they are. So it's this gorgeous little brown mini, and then this stunning purple and blue speckle yarn. It reminds me of his cardigan in the last film. I love this colour. I think it is so good. It's really reminiscent of the week 4 advent colour from last year, which is up there, which I was also in love with. So it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So this is Happy Birthday Neville. Right, my goodness. So that was my yarn and acquisitions and everything else. And I think that is all of the crafting for today. I thought this was going to be a shorter one, and I think it's the same length as all the other ones. So apologies for yammering on. I do also think it has been a month, so I was a bit more waffly than I usually am. But it's been nice to sit down and talk to you guys. I really wanted to do this today. I wanted to make sure that I actually got it done, and I'm really pleased that I have, because I've missed sharing on the podcast, and I know it's been a while. The life thing that I was going to tell you about is I did make another big acquisition in June. The Saturday before Taylor Swift, so the day before I went to see Taylor Swift, I purchased a van. Very left field, I know, but I have wanted to convert a panel van into a camper van for years, and finally I was having a conversation with my partner, and I sort of said, if not now, when? And what was putting me off? I had the money to do it, I wanted to do it, we both wanted to do it, so I purchased a van. Her name is Nelly, she's a Citroen Relay, and we are slowly converting her into a camper van. She's going to be bright and bold, I'm going to go on adventures in her, I want to be able to work from her, so we can go to the continent in the summer, we can go to Europe in the summer, and I can work while Angus is off. I'm so excited, but that has meant that what was already a busy June became an even busier June, and this whole week that I've been off, we've worked on the van every single day. So instead of spending all my time crafting, it's kind of felt like I've also been at work. So during 9 to 5 we've been working on the van, so my crafting time has been evenings or when I'm not napping. So it has been a busy week, and it will be a busy summer. My partner is a primary school teacher, so he's off for the next 5 weeks, so he's going to do a lot of van stuff, so evenings is going to be me also doing van things, so we might have less time for crafting over the next couple of months, but I will be making sure to utilise lunchtimes and early mornings to get some crafting done, because there's just too many beautiful things on my needles that I need to finish. I haven't spoken about a couple of languishing whips because I just haven't worked on them. My rainbow jumper I haven't really worked on. I still haven't looked at my daft days, it's over there. So there is some languishing whips that I haven't moved on from, which I do need to finish. I finally got buttons for my Santa cardigan, so I just need to sew those on and then I'll be able to wear that. So there is lots of things I could be doing, but also no time to be doing them in. Just this morning I was doing insulation in the camper van before jumping on to do the podcast, and then I'll be jumping back off to go and do sound deadening in the camper van. So it is hectic, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm having a lovely time. But thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you got some good crafting done, whether it was knitting, sewing or crochet. I hope it was calming, even though it was a bit chaotic. I love watching podcasts to relax and unwind, so I hope I'm able to do that for you. It has been lovely to chat to you. I'm going to sign off now and see you next time. Bye!